Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Coming to you late broadcast, but we're coming to you regardless. How is everybody doing today? How you doing, Pop?
I am good. I'm good. Had a bit of crisis this morning, but it is past, and we're ready to show this thing off.
Hell yeah. Storm clouds have passed. The sun is shining on us again. Hello, Mom. Love you. Good to see you. Everybody in the chat as well. All 12 of you. Appreciate you watching. Appreciate you being here. So last week we last broadcast 2 weeks ago we talked about what we were coming with. Today we have it, the anticipated Spaceman kit from a couple of kooks, designed solely and proprietarily by John Kukovich, my dad. This thing's pretty dope, guys. I got to tell you, I've been looking at it. I'm proud of him. I think you'll be pretty happy about this thing. So, Pop.
Thanks, buddy. First thing I want to do is I want to hit up the. I've got most everybody's address, but Crayon Slayer, I'm not sure if I have yours. So please message me or let me or Mikey know if I have it. I'm sorry. I will show the list. Um,
Hello, Rowdy. How are you? Dan. Hello, sir. All right. That's the list, huh?
This is the list. There are 17 people on the list and 20 total kits. So that is, we'll put it up again towards the end of the show. I just want to make sure that I'm not missing anyone or that somebody had more than one kit that's not on here as more than one kit.
Mm-hmm.
So I really just want to get that taken care of. So give that a quick look over if you're watching. Oh, sweet.
Daredevil Dave uses membership for 1 month. It's Kook fan for life. We appreciate that. And, welcome.
Oh, what a lovely tea party.
You're damn right.
Hell yeah. All right. Next on the agenda, let's take a look at. Let's take a look at this kit.
Jacob, what's up, sir? So what's up, Kooks? How you gentlemen doing? How we doing? Everybody in the chat. Well, on this side of the camera, we're doing all right, buddy. We're doing all right.
All right. Let's take a look here. This is the kit. There will be one change to the kit, and that is after some work, I may be splitting these hoses in two. We will be watching a detailed how-to video on this as we go today. This is very, very set up, but what you're going to get is you're going to get two knee pads and two boots, which you guys have seen for a while. The shoes and shoe covers are now in pretty good shape. You're going to get 3 battery pouches, and actually you're probably going to get 4. 4 batteries, a belt, 4 large pouches. That is these guys right here. 4 of the small ones. There are 6 locations on the belt to put pouches. You get to pick the small pouches. Always a joke about tiny pouches, but the pouches hold the charge cartridge that goes in this pistol. So there's one.
Design with intent. We've talked about it. There's
There
a
are
reason the
two.
small pouches exist. This isn't a Rob Liefeld drawing.
Yeah, 2 cartridges per case. So if you decide to 2-gun this guy, you might just want the whole thing small pouches. That's up to you.
Morning, sir. Kaiju. Well, good afternoon. I'm so used to us doing this morning. Good afternoon.
You do get 2 pistols, so you can load them out how you want. You get the back insert. The back insert is missing a piece. There's going to be a way to attach the rifle that's going to hang off the side, so that he can still carry even if he's 2-gunning it with the pistols. These are the thigh panels. We'll go over those. These are pockets. You can choose here whether you want to go, which way you want to go here. You want 2 pistols, 1 pistol and pouch, 1 pistol and pouch, but you'll have the pistols to load them out how you want. You get the chest module, shoulder pads, get the hose wire pre-cut, ready to go, the bicep armor, the bracers, helmet ring. You're going to get a clear helmet. Mikey and I talked about this helmet, and finally I came up with an orientation that puts the little indentation close to the back of the helmet. The quality on this is just a little better than if you guys got your kits. These are a little better. I will do a small video to put on Mikey's channel on a couple of different ways that this can be done. Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, Woody. Appreciate it, buddy.
This is the other one of the batteries for the rifle, which when we started this was not a removable battery, and it is now. In fact, it's part of the loadout. It's a pretty integral part. If you got one of the kits at DFW, you got the blue head. So if guys, and this is difficult, but if somebody, because I know not everybody's watching, and a lot of the people do not have Facebook or any of that sort of social media, but if you did not get a blue head, please let me know. I am going to have to do a run of them, so I just want to know. And as always, with every couple of KUK's kit, you get the O-ring and grommet set up to do your head, to put your head on whatever neck, which we will talk about that. So as it stands right now, I say 48 here, but I'm probably going to give you an extra battery piece. So we're looking at right at 50 parts here.
And this kit now is withstanding from the stuff you gave him at DFW.
Yeah, you guys
new stuff. So whatever you got at DFW, it's yours. You just
do what you want.
Be in there, we appreciate it.
Yeah, you come up with something, you can. I spent a week dialing in the resin. I know I talked about that last time. The black resin, they have not caught up with the other colors. Clear and black are both very difficult to chemically create. Clear is way ahead of everybody else. They were doing high resolution with clear way before anyone else was actually just doing colors. But black is still difficult. I have dialed this in as tight as I can. It is still going to take a little work. And I think Mikey is going to start building one of these kits in a couple of weeks. And I will, like I said, I'm going to do a video on the helmet. And probably in that same video, I'm going to talk about different ways to do the black without doing a bunch of standing. There is not a lot of standing. Hey, Jeff. You can see the shoulder pads look really nice and clean. There are small lines on some of these parts, but I'm telling you, just a quick prime layer, which I would on these, even if you don't normally prime 3D printed parts, I'd shoot a layer of primer on these. It doesn't have to be a lot, just something to make sure that it seals up the plastic. I just want to make sure some of these models, some of them were very intricate. Some had, there are a couple that are still done using the blender and Onshape mesh together. I worry about those, because there could be a hidden hole or something that uncured resin could seep through. You prime it, it'll seal it up, okay? Even if you put a clear coat on it, you won't like the black, you don't want to do anything with it, that's fine. Satin coat it, it's probably going to be good. I'll probably do a couple of parts in different types of paint for everybody.
For sure.
So that I just wanted to go over this.
Thanks for being here, buddy. Appreciate it.
Gun Bunny. This is I'm pretty happy with this kit.
It's a hell of a kit. I mean, anybody who orders 3D printed stuff, you order a kit, you're talking like maybe 6 pieces tops. You know, if you order like a kit on Etsy, like the guillotine kit I ordered, that's like 5 or 6 pieces, and you know, it's $30. You know, like this is almost fit. Probably will be 50 by the end of it. I mean, by the time you get these, there's probably going to be 50 pieces in here. That's a hell of a piece count. I mean,
this
it's a real doozy.
You know, and I will say this, as I over-engineer everything, so many things on this kit are set up the way they are, so that I have so many ideas for things to do with this kit, for expansions and things to do. That little, this little backpack is just a basic short-range backpack, right? This will probably be very similar to what the recon troopers wear when we go with them. But for now, this is what he's going to come with. This is the basic pack. Like I said, there will be a place to stow his rifle on there ambidextrously, so that whether you have a lefty or a righty, you can put his rifle either place. Eventually, I want to do a female version of this kit to burn up some of those movie Scarlet bodies that are floating around. Okay, so that is so that's what we have so far. Now, the reason that we're doing this afternoon and it wasn't this morning is because I got a new fancy camera. Really not fancy. It was cheap on Amazon. I realized I had it. I could not find my alternate internet cam here. So I plugged it in, got using it, and filmed about 6 hours worth of video. Friday, I think. Thank you, James. Appreciate it.
James Lucas. Member for 2 months. I appreciate you, buddy. Appreciate you, man.
This morning,
awesome.
I went to pop it all together and make sure it was in order. And everything was black. I found out that every time you turned it off and on, it went back to default to just a photograph. So I thought I was filming, and what I was doing was taking a photo of the work area before I'd even start. So onward and upward.
Way to go, Boomer.
Yeah, I felt pretty good about it. I was freaking out this morning because I knew there was no way I could get it all put together, and I have been so excited about showing this off and all the work's done. I went and saw Mikey yesterday, took him a couple of kits so that he could work on Jacob's. Everyone else's will ship out here in a day or so. Right now, the printer is burning up. It is flying out. The parts aren't divided by kit; they're divided by part. So some trays have 15, some have all 20. And but I want to get this thing rolling. So if everyone is ready, I'm going to do this. This is a quick video that is just an overrun of the parts. I didn't do sound because I knew I was going to narrate, but we will just walk through this real quick. I know we just did it. But what we're going to do here is we're going to start putting the kit together. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to snap the knee pad into the boot. Which you guys that saw these at DFW already see how this works. There it goes. Snaps in as intended. So each one of these videos is going to be prepping parts and deconstructing other parts. Everything in here is built for a Destro body again, and it doesn't matter which Destro body. I mixed and matched on a few of them. Here's the battery going into the holder, belt, And this is the first full functional prototype, so there is some work that's been done on the parts. This was before I started burning them in black, so this was the last one I built before the final version of everything. See how the pouches snap in. I don't know if you can see there's a little arrow there that tells you that's the outside of the foot. Helps a little bit to not mix them up. These fit very tight, and when we show how to put the foot together, you'll see what I'm talking about. You see here, there's a little gap there, and you will close that up when you glue the whole thing together. It takes 2 steps. Here you have the pocket that goes on the thigh piece. Snaps in nice and tight. Or if you prefer, you can use the holster. It takes me a minute to remember which side is which, but there's the newly redesigned gun from probably 20 years ago. I designed that gun for another toy I wanted to do. The detail there. The shoulder pads, you'll be taking them back off to finish this build, but just want to show how they slide in. They just go in. There's nothing that snaps them in so that they can rotate freely. They also have the little arrows on the inside of them that point forward, so you should get a set.
Kenny, what's up, buddy? You got this. Come on now, you got this.
Kenny, you just holler at me, man. I'll walk you through it. This is really everything I did here was to make this as simple as possible. I want people to go after this stuff and have fun and make something that they think is cool.
For sure.
But I will say, Mikey and I will both have different levels of help available. There's the bubble. It just slides in. We will not glue it together on this episode because that one's raw off the printer. They look so pretty when they first come off the printer too, the clear ones, and then when you clean them, the light starts refracting off of every single layer.
Right.
This is the hose.
Out of the...
The hose is that little metal stuff that we used on Sci-Fi's helmet. But that is that's what we've got there.
Nice.
And so to start this off, we will go with boil and pop action. I'm going to be honest. I had to do this twice because I did not see that the camera was fogged up from the boiling hot water. I'm a winner.
Dave wants to know if he missed when this was going on the website, or is it not?
It will. I'm hoping next week. I want to get all the black parts done and start printing enough. We will, at a point here in this, I will let you guys know what the pricing is going to be on this kit. Mikey and I had a pretty good conversation breaking them down. This is just basic boil and pop stuff. You're going to get those legs off there. And right now I'm going to take my handy dandy channel locks and I'm going to just pull the rocket right out. And I say that really fast because I remember doing this the second time for this video and it was a little harder. I didn't leave it in the water long enough. But it will come out. Ugh. Just give me a second.
And if you'd prefer, you can just cut it off.
On that part, yes. The part coming up, you gotta work it. You can cut it off, but holy cow, it's a lot of work.
Yeah, for the collar, you need the channel because part of the kit is going to lock into the groove. So do that completely.
He's gonna go back in there for a minute. I'll pull this leg up, finish popping this foot off, and there's my super dexterity at work.
To go back to what Dave was asking, what goes on the website will not be a black kit. The black kit was for the people that paid to be at the class at DFW. That's their exclusive kit. It's the black one with the blue head. What goes on the website will be alternate colors. We've looked at some kind of grayish white ones, kind of a dark gray. We've looked at an olive. So we've got some other stuff that we want to let everybody else have a crack at. But the black is for y'all that paid to be at our class. We appreciate you. We want you to have that.
So on this collar, when you're peeling it off, this is why I use the channel locks, is because they have a sharper angle on them, and you can use that to help peel it away when you put the pressure on it. Just take your time and start peeling it off. It'll try to tear, but if it's hot enough, it'll start pulling out as you get to the other side. So I just work my way around it. Peel it off. This part is the strenuous part because they put a whole string of glue back there on that back neck, which is right where the back of the helmet sits. This thing is designed to sit right inside this. You could use a barbecue body too, a torso too. So it's off. We're gonna take a look in there. You know, there's a big chunk still left in there. I'm gonna have to get the X-Acto knife out. Don't do what I do. Please protect your fingers. I do not. This is vinyl. You know, this is PVC, so it doesn't take a lot of cutting here, and it's hot. So lightly cut with a nice sharp X-Acto blade, but get that out of there. You need that out. You will see that I have braced when I start cutting in the next video. I have braced myself to do that so that I do not cut myself, because I really don't like being told I told you so. So here we go. I know it doesn't look like it, but I have my fingers away from where that blade's going to go. If it pops off that, just go slow and careful, and just cut as much of it out as you can. But this area here, the inside of that helmet sits right in this groove. Sits right there. So anybody joining late, we are deconstructing this destro so that we can properly fit the kit. When we do the chest piece, when we get to that chapter, I show you where it touches in the kit, where it goes. It took some work, but it is really nice and tight the way it fits. And you'll deconstruct destro, and then whatever paint work you're going to do will need to be done. No matter what happens here, you're going to have to paint the neck. You can get away with not painting much else. The gray on the boots, the dark gray on the boots does not show at all. The hands on this version of destro are silver. Here we go. It snaps right on that collar lip to keep it from sliding around.
And now going back to the neck piece, if you have a neck from another figure, you can just use that. And if you got like a bat, you want to use a bat neck, you throw it on there.
I will say this: I think the best choice, if you were going to do that, would be get you a Slaughter's Marauders barbecue.
Barbecue's got a good.
You're gonna have to paint that neck. Yeah, that armored neck. You got black hands with a pad on them that looks really good with this armor, and you get black boots and shoes. So all you got to do is pour a little of this. I use this glue pretty much for everything because it works really nice with PVC. You get it, slide the heel back. There's going to be, you just try to even out the gap a little bit. I wanted it to be able to have a little play in it so that there are manufacturing variances. It doesn't have to be perfect. You're going to be able to turn it and do what you need to do with the joints because we're not modifying any joints here. So I'll set that aside, and you guys are just going to have to assume I did the other one off camera. I did, actually. All right. This stuff takes about 10 minutes to dry. Go ahead and you snap the back of the shoe cover in the holes. You can dip this in a little warm water or warm it up. It becomes very flexible, as I will show when we do the bicep armor. But you just need to get it on there. Snaps in. Such a satisfying sound. Unfortunately, the sound is very similar to the sound of it breaking.
Mhm.
So sometimes the satisfaction isn't satisfaction. Sometimes it's just awful. But rapid fuse glue, you can buy it at Walmart. You can buy it several different places. You can get it on Amazon pretty cheap. So I'm just going around this inside edge with the glue. I'm going to touch the top edge of the shoe part. I'm going to touch that top edge, just smear it around there, and put a little in this crack where this tab will lay. All right, that's all you got to do. I'm going to put it together. You'll see that it doesn't go down all the way, so you're going to use one of these super expensive Dollar Tree clamps and close it. And you don't want to push it all the way in, because when it closes, because of that angle, you're going to want this to be a little bit flexible here. So it'll go with that. Push it down, and you will do about 2 squeezes, and you will feel it set into place. It will squeeze down really nice. And I'm just going to let that sit for 10 or 15 minutes, and we'll move on to something else while that dries. All right. I'll work on the pockets. So this is why you're going to get 4. This is designed to set in the nestle of Destro's back. But if you're a lefty, you're going to pull that magazine out one side. If you're a righty, you're going to pull it out the other side. So I just kind of randomly put some in here. You will see in another video, the large pocket that I put on the side keeps popping off. Got a little aggressive with the removal of material. The last round I did of these, I made some adjustments to the pockets, to the pocket pieces themselves, to the pegs, so they would slide in better, so that nobody has to do this. So what you get in a kit will be nice and fairly sturdy. You could either glue these pouches on, or if you don't want to make it permanent, you can use something like Fabri-Tac. I use Fabri-Tac for a ton of things in toy customizing. It's not permanent, but it will not move.
That's pretty good.
This one here will keep popping out. It's frustrating. It happens. I end up gluing it off screen because I couldn't take it anymore. What you want to be aware of is in the back, whichever side that you are going to have him draw that magazine out of, that side cannot have a big pouch. I think I will show that here. This is why he's got a small pouch there. So that will snap into place. I should probably put a battery in there to show you guys that it actually works. These are your indicator lights that are on the bottom of the battery. I added those later, but they let you know, you can see red, yellow, green, whichever one's lit up, that's your charge. So when you paint it up, that's what you can do. All right. Let's put these little guys on. I'm gonna dip these in hot water, and this material is great. It becomes super flexible. Yep, dexterity right there.
Amazing.
Kind of to twist this on. You could, if you really didn't want to mess with it, you could pull the pins out and remove it. It'll slide right on. Once you get it on, it will go to a certain point. There you go. It just takes me a minute to figure out which way to put it on. It will snap into place pretty tight. I think if I was doing a full one, a custom for somebody, you see this is at an angle. This is what you want. You want it to be slightly at an angle. It does not go straight across. It is a little higher on this side than the back. And it just looks angular from the side. I like the aesthetic of it. But you can put it in whatever position you want. You may just have to use a little bit of that rapid fuse to do it. All right, so obviously you're going to do that on the other side, and now comes the most nerve-wracking part of this build. This is my brilliant idea to have hoses running up his arms. So I'm going to point out here, these are the channels in the back of the backpack, or the chest unit that will go through. And this stuff, it can be a little bit of a trick here. So I am going to enlist some small needle nose pliers and just push it across the peg. The peg does not get close to the back, so there's no issue with the hose running right up next to it. Go around it, you can do whatever. I tried to show this in the camera, how I just basically just slowly feed it in. This is metal wire that is coiled really tightly, so it is a little springy, which is funny, but at the same time incredibly frustrating because you really have to get close to the end of it and just feed it in a little bit at a time. And this is way better than trying to do this after you've attached the backpack, after you've attached the space.
Oh yeah, that would be awful.
And at this time, you're not worried about how even it's going to be. Right now, you just want to feed it through so that you don't lose it. And this is probably why there will be two separate pieces, because if you were to extend both of his arms at the same time, I'm worried it might be a little tight. This is literally one of those bracelet bands cut in it, just cut. It's not even cut in half. That's the size that it is. So that is the first step. I'm going to leave that set for a minute. I'm going to painfully watch this part. The back of the thigh panel, as I'm showing here, is designed to sit in that groove on Destro's leg. So that's your lineup. So you line this thing up. I'm going to put it in the water. I'm going to tell you guys, I didn't warm it up long enough. This is a little bit heartbreaking here. I do break the thigh strap. So in the second video of this, I'm going to show you how to actually put it on, because I tried to go from the wrong direction. You see the arrow tells you which way this thing needs to go on, and you can line it up with the pattern here. You can see on the back of it how it lines up. One side of this is really angular, and one side is really, really sharp and square, and you can tell that. So this is what I tried to do. I'm going to put it in the water a little bit longer. All right. I'm figuring this out. I'm looking at this. I put this on the wrong side. I don't know. Maybe. What I should have done here is put it back in the hot water and warmed it again. But I did not. Oh man. Back in the warm water, but it's honestly too late. I've got it stuck on the leg too high. This is awful. But so you guys understand, I made this thing and I messed this up. There was the snap I didn't want to hear. Like, oh crap. But you can see, there it is. I'll have to glue that because it's not coming off. I'm just telling you that right now, and I'm taking it back off. So this is really neat because I very calmly put that down, and it's a teachable moment because 10 years ago the camera, it would have been a lot funnier to watch because you would have heard it hit the wall. So let's watch how to properly put the thigh panel. I just want everybody to understand, like, this is a slow process, but everybody makes errors. And honestly, the way this thing is made, if that strap does break, it's really easy to glue it back together and no one will ever know. I was going to make it so the straps did not have ends on them, but that's just a lot more faith in the 3D printer than I have at this time. So properly, just slowly work it down the side from the top. What you're going to want is the top of that strap lines up with the top of that hip swivel joint. That's where it lines up, and that should put the inside of it properly on that on this part in here, on the figure. You can glue this. I mean, it's not going to hurt anything to glue it, but they do look really nice. And as you can see, that second time, I knew what I did wrong, so it went really fast.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to talk about that piece right there is designed to slide right into that V on the chest. It's angled so that it nestles right in there. And then on the back, you have the peg. And the peg, I did not make it long enough to really dig into that peg hole, but it's just long enough that it will secure this thing in place. And then you have the spot on the back of the collar. When you get it, you heard it snap there, it is in. And it's just a slight bend. Our little Doc Ock arms still hanging out there. Aren't they hilarious? They are. Like googly eyes.
They're very nice.
I don't know. And then you just feed these in to the holes in the back. All right, I'm frustrated with it, so what happened was that wire, when I cut it, had a little piece of it sticking out, and I ended up, that's all it needed, was just to be. All right, try this again. Like I said, looking at this, it just feeds through. You just want it to feed through so that it doesn't flop around while you're doing everything else.
Want to limit the amount of floppage.
Yeah.
Good advice.
Yeah, I mean, if you got other projects, you got wet paint somewhere, it could really have a bad day. So let's just tuck them in, get them out of the way. Like I said, this stuff is super springy, so I'm going to pull it through to straighten out that twist in it. I think this is the first project I got to work on this great big new map too. I'm going to pull it down a little. Looking at this, again, I didn't paint anything. No matter what destro you get, those bracers are going to be silver. I tap it just to show you how solid it is. And I have not glued anything at this point. But I do want to point out, looking at these bracers here. So they are silver, but they are on black plastic. So you really have two options. You can either paint them black, which is what I did on the original prototype, or you can get a little lacquer paint thinner and work it off. It'll come off there, and then it's all black. So you got, like I said, two choices there, whichever you want to do. My goal was really to have as little paint as possible, and any paint that you would have to do, especially on a black one, would just be easy stuff. All right. Bracers slide right on, and basically this ring in the mold is what holds them in place. I would not recommend gluing the bracers on. You're going to want them to turn a little bit if you try to pose them any dynamic pose. You want to make, you want it to look realistic and cool. What I do recommend is one side of this, go ahead and glue it into the bracer. Not both sides, not until you're all done, but go ahead and glue one side in. Now, that will make everything else you do way easier.
All for that.
But again, it's very springy. I'll go over at the end, I will go over all the tools that I used. There is nothing expensive here. I think probably the glue is the most expensive thing I used out of all that. So you can kind of line it up and get it all evened out. Slide the other bracer on. The vents go to the outside, and you want those these little points here to be on the outside, the bottom kind of the arm. So it's just a matter of, like I said, I spend more time on the hose routing because it's the one thing that is, I think, really gives it the look that I was really going for, but at the same time, it's also takes a little work to do. All right. So, okay. We're getting closer. Time to put the belt on. Belt goes on before the waist goes on. And you will see here this side piece pops off again. This is pre-glue. I like to get these waists very, very warm to work with. What I did not do here that I should have done was pulled the barbells down so that this slides on easier. At this point, I really don't want to dip the waist in any more water than I have to, hot water. That does something to that the barbell pieces, the the hip joints. It does something to them and makes them loose. You can fix it with Elmer's glue, which I've talked about several times. Get the looseness out, but that is definitely the way to go here. So you're just going to line it up and then pull it down on the waist. After you got to put the hips on. This is just dipping the tips into the water and sliding them on. There will be a green very similar to this that will be the green version. This was a mix when I was testing different resins. I really liked how it turned out. What I learned was that the black had what I wanted, but it didn't have the resolution. So I was trying some of the more high resolution things. And I had, it's funny, I had yellow left over from the other projects. That thing fell off again. And so I just mixed yellow and black, came up with a really nice olive drab kind of color. And then here I'd added some white to get this look, to build this set. I built a couple sets that I think, Mikey, I think you got one that color too.
Yeah.
I don't recommend leaving it the color that it's molded in. I really do. The black is black. I mean, that is how that is. But all right. These are different than the ones you got at DFW. They have a lock tab in them, but you still put it on kind of at an angle, turn it, and slide it on, and then it'll snap into place. This one took me a minute. I think when I put the second one on, I'll let you see how I did it. Here's the twist, pop, snaps right on. As Mikey and most customizers know, putting feet back on the pegs is an incredibly painful thing unless you get the feet really hot. Because they don't go straight in, they go forward. And that's what I'm doing here. I'm moving that peg forward so I can use the down force and push it into the foot. But you have a little room to mess with. I'm going to warm it up a little more. It's all been glued. just to tell you how quick that glue dries, all of this happened within a 4 or 5 hour window today. So
Pretty quick.
it's pretty good. It's pretty quick build. So anybody that's not sure what they're, if they could handle this or they don't think they could do it, you can do this kit. If you've pulled any figure apart or done anything with a classified style body, you can build this kit.
Definitely.
Mikey and I are both happy to help. Obviously, Mikey does a little painting on the side.
I've been known to dabble.
So here we go. We're going to put this other side on. I got it a little warmer. I still struggled with it. And honestly, that was the whole purpose of this. I really wanted you guys to see that it, where everybody struggles, right? It's not. Here I am showing you how I'm going to do these hands. I just put the wrists out, put both of them in the water at the same time. I did not put it in the water long enough. This was way more frustrating than it should have been. But as Mikey has talked about before, and I think I probably talked about it, if you have these joints and they are giving you a little extra trouble, a little white lithium grease on them really helps. It really helps. All right.
You just don't want to do it before you paint.
That's right. Like I said, all of this should happen. The armor should be painted. The body should be painted if you're painting the body. Everything should be done when you do these steps. You can do a quick test fit on everything just to make sure you
test fit, make sure everything plugs and plays like it's supposed to. But
so I've decided to put the pistol on the right-hand side. Pocket on the left. Going to go ahead and slide in the shoulders. Again, just leave it a little bit of gap in there just so that it moves a little bit. I lost the other shoulder pad.
Amateur.
What I did was I separate parts on this side and tools on this side, and somehow that shoulder pad ended up with the tools. That little guy slides on, snaps in place. Fell off again. Hilarious entertainment here. But you can see me moving it around. It's solid. The size of the feet are heavy on purpose because it does help stand the figure up. So, end result.
It's pretty good. Looks pretty.
I
cool.
am thrilled with this kit. I see a lot of people saying stuff in chat, and I haven't been looking, but I see thank you so much. I feel really great about this. I think that what you're going to get out of this kit is definitely worth what we're going to ask for it. Obviously, you guys at DFW, I owe you this. It's taken me a month to get this finished, so you guys are going to get this full kit. You're going to get all 50 pieces, new pieces. Do what you want with the old pieces. I know that Max's daughter, she likes extra pieces. So
she does. She likes flawed pieces.
Yeah. And what's really cool, I got a couple pieces for her where the printer failed and it looks like a big rip in the armor here.
Nice.
So yeah, I thought, I could do like a fallen soldier thing, and then I thought, nope, I'm gonna let her have it and see what she can do with it. A piece of leg.
I hope somebody gets multiples of these and takes pictures of it with that big one-eyed tentacle thing from the new Marvel Legend thing. because I would love to see this thing, like two of these, like just gunning one down.
Going after it.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
So anybody that started this journey with us probably do recall that we had the inspiration board and what it had on it. So I'm going to show that real quick here. So I'm going to take a look at it here. I meant to get this pulled up earlier, but I did not. Give me just a second to find.
Yeah, a lot of praise in the chat, buddy. It looks, everybody at least looks like it seems pretty happy.
Thank you, everyone. I really hope this is as awesome as everybody thought it might be. It's definitely, I feel like the last couple of weeks, Mikey and I came up with some changes to make on it, added those thigh panels. Mikey just wanted me to put like some Stormtrooper thigh armor on there, I think, and then I'd come back with this. Like,
yeah, I was just looking for just something to build it out a little bit so his thighs didn't taper instead of. That looks fucking amazing. Yeah, Jay looks great. Bone Bunny, damn, that's killer. Jetman, beautiful job. Mom says looks freaking awesome.
Thank you.
Renee says absolutely amazing work.
Thank you.
Apparently this dickweed came in, but he sent a message for everybody. So I'll just play that real quick. Thanks, Zach, for sending it. We really appreciate it, buddy. It's good to see you. I hope you're having a great day.
Definitely appreciate the
tell the wife we said hello.
the support.
Ray Murphy says that looks amazing. Customizers Alliance, how you doing, sir?
Thank you. Thank you.
Dan Olton's onto it. Jacob, I think, is salivating, I think is what this means here. Renee says looks amazing. Looks cool as heck.
Thank you. I really do.
I guess people are pleased with it. That's good.
I am happy to hear that. Now, why do you not know what's happened to my stuff here?
G-Force.
Anyway, what I do want to say is that G-Force Racing, hey man, I do want to say that I'm going to pull up that kit image again because we'll talk about the price.
This is the one you put on the couple of Kooks page last week?
No, the one I showed you guys that had all
the just all the parts out there, not the drawing. Gotcha.
There it is. All right. I think we are going to, as I showed on that other thing that showed everybody that had there was a DFW, everybody that has a DFW kit coming. There are 20 kits going out to people that put their faith in this up front, right?
Yep.
So what I'm going to do is I want to offer 20 more kits at $85. And $90 with shipping, obviously. Sorry. $90 shipped. How about that? Let me just say.
There you go. $90 shipped.
You'll get everything you saw today. By the time this thing goes live, or if you just want to say what you would like, or there's going to be an olive green, there's going to be like a clay red color, a dark gray, and that smoky white smoke that we showed at DFW, that one that I had put together. Those are going to be the 4 colors. Those are all high def resin colors, and I feel pretty good about offering those at that price. So if anybody was not on the DFW list, and any of you guys that are on our shows regularly. You guys kind of have first shot at those first 20 kits. If you want to, whatever. But I am going to show you how to fix that helmet. There's a couple of different ways to get it nice and clean and shiny. It really turns out the way that it was done, the way this has been printed, that there are some super easy ways that are acceptable. But you know, everybody has their own thing. So stop that and present this other image. I'm saying that, and then I can't find what I was going to show. Oh, the tools. Okay, for this build, I use obviously an X-Acto knife. You can get these pretty cheap if you don't have one. I know some people may not have one. There are actually some really cool kits on Amazon that come with several things that are in this kit, including this. They have way simpler drills, but I'm going to recommend that you guys get you a 2mm drill bit, just in case you have issues running that hose. That 2mm drill bit, it's worth having around. I think these are Harbor Freight needle nose with the bend in it to run that hose. The bend is incredibly helpful. 2 of these clamps will make it go faster because you can do both shoes at the same time. Good old Dremel with, I believe it's a 7701 carbide barrel tip, available on eBay and Amazon. My good old trusty channel locks and a needle file. I looked at some kits on Amazon that had this. This is just one of those Harbor Freight O-ring remover things. These are, you guys that were at the show got some of these where I cut the tip off of them for push pins. So I do have one that is for pushing pins out, and one that I just kept sharp. On these kits, you may get them and there may be some very small supports still showing, and you have one of these little things and you can just knock them right out. If I don't get them all cleaned up before they go in the bag, super simple to knock it out. But these are the tools that I used to put this thing together. There's nothing fancy here. No cutting or grinding that you have to do. Like I say, you may have to use this drill. I use the hand vise because it's a lot easier to control than a drill, and you just get a more precise. The hole should be big enough. I'm going to test most of them before they go out, but if I miss one, 2mm, that's what you need. This guy here is just a 1/8 shank. I believe it's a 7701. It might be a 7761. But these are the things. These are the things you need to build this kit, other than paint. So that is my presentation. I will show this one other thing just to remind everybody. Here it comes. Come on, man. Okay. These are the 3 available destros that can be used for this custom. If you don't want to paint anything at all, you get you either one of these. Now, you know, one of these has gray on the uniform, which I don't think that's awful. If you're building the Spaceman, that might be an issue. The Spaceman's all black, but that one has gray on it. So you get you this one, and you get you a Pimp Daddy for cheap, and you got some black boots, you got black gloves. Good to go. Or, like I say, you can barely see. All you see of these is this is the ankle joint. It's really not that noticeable. But if you're painting something other than black, you might want that to be a different color, or you might want it to be the same color as the armor itself.
Sure.
There is a pretty big gap in the armor between the foot and the boot, and that is so that you still have plenty of posability. You didn't totally want to lose the ability for him to crouch down a little bit. It's very difficult for him. His chest makes it very difficult for him to hold a rifle at a proper stance, but it can be done. And the nice thing about these hands on these classified figures will heat, and they'll pretty much hold any shape. Other than that, there is, we were talking about the barbecue neck. A lot of people told me once about how the sizes of the heads, the heights of the neck would be an issue. So here you go. Maybe. There we go. There it is. All right. There's a Marauder's barbecue body with that neck and the Destro neck. I actually really like this. It's a thicker neck, but you see the height is the same, and you're using a couple of KUK-O's head attachment system, so you kind of have a little leeway there to move the head up and down as much as you need to.
Right.
This angle is a little off. It makes this one look a little taller, but they are pretty much the exact same height. Still gonna have to paint the neck, but it's something else to use, you know. I think that is everything.
Tony's in the house. Tony's Figs. What's up, sir?
Tony.
Got Tony and Ray. That's pretty awesome.
That's awesome.
Daredevil Dave wants to know. He's definitely down for one of these. Ray wants to know, where does he sign up? So where can people get a hold of these moving forward?
Right now, for this this limited thing, I want you guys to just holler at me on Messenger, or you can email me at force28x@gmail.com. Hit my email, message me either way. Let me know what you're wanting, and I will hook you up. I'll make sure you get one as soon as the other colors print, which should be late this week. I'm running black until Tuesday, I think, to get all the kits. So I think I will
know what we're signing up for. Should bring up that final picture there.
Let's do that.
This is the kit we were doing at DFW. It is now finished.
Destro body, about 50 pieces to turn it into this. And again, these are straight off the printer. So what you see, anything you see here is just the print.
James Lucas wants to know, he says, I can see how you could potentially create some Centurion type kits down the line. Any plans for anything like that?
Yeah, James, this base system with the way that backpack is made, the way these pieces are put together, is there will be several things. I talked to Mikey, I was telling him some of my plans. There'll be more expansion kits here, different bracers. I'd like to build an engineer, like someone that works on like different things, like, with a hole cutter, things like that. Maybe a couple of arms here. There will be a heavy gunner that will have a framework here for weapons to really give this thing Gundam look, and there will be a flight pack with foldable wings. So there will be several versions of that back piece that snaps on. The one that we the one that's on here, like I said, is just a.
Scott's gonna need a flamethrower.
Well, Scott, we could probably come up with a flamethrower. I'm sure
That could be pretty cool, like a 2-tank setup on his back.
Yeah.
You know, that could be cool.
Yes, there are things that can be done. So yeah, what I was trying to avoid was the thing about the Centurions is how awkward it looks without anything on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, very awkward. I mean, he's just got a bunch of holes in the body. I didn't want to do that, so I wanted it to really seem like the different parts. The different parts with, I just wanted it to look right. So there may be an upgraded belt, a thicker belt. Well, probably won't want to. You probably just, as a good friend of mine in the toy industry always says, you might want to hold off. That version of General Hawk deserves a proper suit or a proper set of armor. And I'm not saying that this helmet wasn't designed to do more than just this. I obviously, as many of you have learned over the past year or so, I really try to design everything I do with the intent to use it again. And as much work as it is to do those helmets and polish them out and do all the work, I would like to do some other things. Because if I could get you a General Hawk, then I can get you a Star Brigade Roadblock. That's kind of how I'm looking at it.
That's true.
There is, in the works, there is a female version of this armor, but there is also what will probably happen first is the Recon Trooper that will go with this universe that this guy comes from, built on a Dusty body. So if anybody bought our Action Assault kits and you have a Dusty body laying around, you're going to be able to use it. That is a lot of the pieces of this armor that suit will share, but they'll have a much more slim boot design. This is just a bulky spacesuit, is what this is. So the Marine, the Recon, however we name it, will be much more flexible. Same pistol, but it'll have different weapons. This is a plasma type thing. In this picture, you can see here that there are little supports there. I should have used that little pointy thing to knock those out. So that's the kind of stuff that I'm saying. If you drop $2 at Harbor Freight and have a couple of different ones, and then you can do it, then you'll have that. Plus something that might help you route those hoses. Who knows? I mean, but $20-25 and you'll have every tool you need to build this. And most of the kits that we do will just take a basic tool set. So yeah, there are. This is true. I would like to do that. I really keep thinking that's going to get on the hit list pretty soon because it was so early in the line. But you never know.
It's true.
You really don't know. I mean, this kit could probably be modified to be a pretty nice dive suit or other Star Brigade stuff. I've always wanted to do a Deep Six suit. As a kid, I was so disappointed in his articulation and everything, but I thought the figure looked really cool. I just really wanted it to be more. It would be fun to do something like that.
Yeah.
The thing about a diver, that kind of a diver suit, is that you really would not want any flesh exposed, even if it's covered in a leather jumpsuit. Probably not enough for the pressures that they take. But I would love to.
Unless you were doing like a V2, and then you don't need that as much.
The V2 could be done. But one of the things that I was afraid of, one of the things that I had a fear of was the clear helmets. But with these new 8K and higher printers, that is becoming easier and easier to deal with.
For sure.
So. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
It is super cool. But that's kind of the layout of the next probably year of what we're going to be doing on this side, the modeling side of things. There is going to be, I talked about a couple weeks ago, there's going to be an instruction sheet for this, and then just a, if you guys have seen sculpt sheets, where you just have a black and white render of front, side, back type thing. I'm gonna make those available to everybody. So if you were gonna have, even if you were just like, I just want to print this off and make copies and let my kids color it or whatever, then do that. You do whatever, but give you a chance to play with some designs on it before you started painting yours, before you decided to buy one. There's a lot of things like that I think just if you're doing stuff like this, well,
nice.
That idea came from the whole community idea of sharing knowledge and making things easier for everybody. Mm-hmm. So, and it is terrible to do something and then when you decide to change your mind, you have to scrape off a bunch of tacky blue tack stuff.
Sucks.
And this works great. And if you switch the heads, then sometimes the head will slide right off and you don't even have to do the other, it just works. So I'm glad that works for you, Ray. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude.
Let's see. Also, I need to finish up the Stinger conversions too.
Yeah. Yes, for sure. That's one. It's one I want to do. I don't know when I'll have time to do it, but yeah, I want to make a Panther for myself for sure. And yeah, for sure. And I mean, you still have little projects to squeeze in the voids.
I do.
There's lots of little stuff, but big plans. This is where we're at. We're gonna ride this Spaceman project for a while.
We are.
There's a lot of meat on the bone.
Yes, this is an entire concept of being able to have people are going to do space lines. It's going to happen eventually. People are going to do other things in 1/12 scale.
Yeah.
This was just, I needed to do this because it's something I always wanted to do. We had the opportunity with what we started, and then we did the sci-fi kit, and it just like everything was just like I always wanted to do something like this. Why not just do it? Because I was going to work on a General Hawk, and I just told Mikey what? And we did the Buzz Lightyear thing, and I just kept thinking I'm going to make more of those and buy more kits. And I was like, well, I just make my own, and there's everything I wanted to be, everything that I think other people would like.
Sure.
So thematically, there are some things here that will carry on to probably a couple more builds. And I do want to try to do some vehicle stuff. I've told some people in the last couple of weeks that my personal goal is to create 5 spaceships in 5 years. So that's the goal. And I plan on doing a lot of other things in between there. I've got some other irons in the fire, trying to kind of figure out what I'm going to be doing the next 6 months. We shall see.
Yeah. Scott, it's important to take off most of football season. I feel like that's a good move.
It's not a bad idea.
It's a good move because I mean, I'm sure, I'm sure the community appreciates you supporting single mothers, but creators like that too.
Got your message, Ray. I think we can figure that out.
Noise.
Let's see.
What else you got, Pop?
Well, I'm trying to think what else I have right now. This has been a lot. It's taking time. But the nice thing about a project like this is learning more about how to make things better as I go, how to do things faster, better workflows. I've got a pretty good one now. I am working on some stuff for some other customers, and that has kind of opened my eyes to some concepts and ideas, that I've always wanted to do. So I finally feel like I'm at that level that I can do it.
That makes sense.
So that's where I'm at. What about you? What's your next project?
Wednesday night I'll be continuing work on Sergeant Lincoln Osiris for Scott there. Got some heads I'm working on painting, Daredevil Dave and Jimmy Purvis and TK Storm. I've got some of their heads there, working on those. I did finish this guy on Wednesday. Go. So I did finish this one.
Oh, he turned out really nice.
So this is kind of a combination of inspirations. So the primary one is from his helmet, is the Night Watch Palatoy figure.
Very nice.
So instead of on his chest, I did the panels on his head, and then kept the green visors. So that's that. And then the gray camo comes from Sparrowhawk. So this is since Night Watch is technically the first assault trooper they did, he doesn't have the signature pieces like the later ones. So now he does, and now he fits right in with the others, with the Arctic one. Boom.
Great.
That
is great.
The whole squad. So that's pretty.
Yeah.
That's pretty
well,
cool.
Yeah, we should have Bob's entire thing done at some point.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Jungle, Urban, Sparrowhawk.
Yeah.
Everything they use that body for, I want to do a figure of.
Same. Yeah, there's not
that Mikey. That's why I wanted the yellow paint yesterday. I could not remember what project. It's that.
Oh. Okay. Yep. That makes sense.
Sonar officer.
Yep. That makes sense.
So you.
Yeah, we can do that. We can do that. Thanks, Mom.
All right. So Wednesday night, you're working on the Lincoln figure.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I'll be working on him. And then Thursday, we have a giant episode of Figure It Out. I am
Tell everybody about that. Are you ready to?
Thursday night, we are going to have Fresh Monkey Fiction / Big Bad Workshop on. We're going to have Bill.
Oh, that's awesome.
And Mike are coming on to talk about all of the Big Bad Workshop stuff. I am incredibly excited about it. It's one of the few companies that I follow pretty hard. I don't buy everything, but yeah. super excited about that. We're going to talk about what they've got, what's coming, reissues. We're talking, we're going to ask about dates, because there's a lot of stuff that's coming. That's Q3, and that is right around the corner. From what they've posted on Instagram, that sounds like it's still on. A lot of the Q3 stuff, a lot of it sounds like end of September they should be states, which is freaking awesome. Beginning of Q3 is pretty exciting. Or end of Q3, I guess.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible. You guys have had some killer guests this year.
We've stepped it up a little bit, just a little. It's important to manage expectations, so every once in a while you have to do the greatest nude scenes. You got to sprinkle that in to get your average where it needs to be. Because if we didn't have jobs, then it would be okay to keep expectations high. But when this is a secondary priority,
right,
it's important. So that is going to be really awesome. I am hoping we get a lot of people in so they can see the kind of excitement. Because I'm sure they hear all the time the negatives, because you, as somebody who's had a successful Kickstarter, know the most common question is, where's my shit, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it doesn't matter if it's a Kickstarter or if it's a pre-order that's taken 2 to 3 years to get. It's frustrating for both sides because, again, you, as somebody who's been on the other side of that, you're as frustrated as anybody else because you'd love to have the product too. So we kind of understand that. So we're gonna try to keep Thursday night focused on the passion side of it, because I find that's the content that I want to watch. I want to see how excited somebody is, rather than an episode where we just shit on people and use gotcha moments. And I'm not really into that. I'm not gonna take the time to ask him about the cop's license because I really don't give a shit. Not really my business. So yeah, I am super excited about it. Zach's super excited about it. Thursday night's going to be a big night for us.
Yeah, you know what? No matter what they've got going on, there's just not much better than the Monster Force line. I think that to me, that has raised the bar for everything. Everything else feels like a petty squabble. When you start looking at those figures, they are amazing figures. You and I talked yesterday about why they feel so good and so heavy in your hand that you feel like you're paying. And I know that sounds kind of crazy, but as an old school guy, like I can remember even when, like, this seems like it's unrelated, but it is. But when Tonka went to plastic, for years growing up, everything had real metal. You felt like Bulldozer had rubber treads and adjustable bulldozer on it, and all that was still there, but now it's out of this plastic, and it just felt so cheap and flimsy, and they didn't lower the price. A bulldozer was still whatever it was, last year when it was metal. Right. So there's something to that. There's something to hold a figure in your hands, and then you feel one of them, and it's like, yeah, that feels solid. It feels like it's going to stand on your shelf. It doesn't feel like something that's going to fall over.
Right. Yeah. I'm really excited about it. Like, I love their stuff. I would say that, like, the one thing that there's probably two things that I hear people bring up the most as far as a negative. One is timing, which it sucks. I mean, that's just how it is. I think, and we'll find out Thursday, but I think that's kind of where a Big Bad Workshop comes into play.
That's what it sounds like.
I want to talk about that because I think that's a really important issue that's really not talked about. They don't have a big social media presence. They've gotten a lot better. So I am hoping to really get a good conversation in. And the other thing would probably be the werewolf figure, which was a partnership with somebody else. That was somebody else's figure that they got to repackage and use. I know they're continuing to do that. And I know Bill said in an interview while he was at San Diego Comic-Con that they would like to do some reissues on that figure because it sold out, obviously. But they also have some new partnerships that they're getting into, and I'm excited to talk about that. The skeletons that they showed off at San Diego Comic-Con, that's a partnership with the guys that made articulated icons. So if you have any of those ninjas or the samurai, that's that company that they're partnering with that. So that's pretty rad. And then obviously they're doing some shared license stuff. You know, the Grendel line, that's going to be shared. I can't remember who did the regular Grendel figure not long ago. Is it Loose Collector maybe? I can't remember. Anyway, so I mean, as we know in the toy community, the feedback is important, but it's important that it's constructive and not just blanket criticism. Criticism's fine, but if you expect results to be taken, it's all about the way you present it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, and you and Troy know that because you guys get your fair share of that stuff. So, like I said, I am super excited to talk to Bill. He doesn't do a lot of interviews, so the fact that I'm getting one, I feel pretty blessed about it. Pretty excited about it.
That's very awesome.
Yeah. So, and hopefully, it sounds like I might be able to pull some more work out of him, so I'll be able to do some more painting for them, which is also very exciting. Very exciting.
Yeah, the Sky Captain was amazing.
Thank you. I'm pretty proud of it. Yeah, Jacob, it's gonna be good. And Joseph, I'm hoping so. Scott says the last time I talked to them, they said they had switched manufacturer locations and were now using the same factories as Mythic Legions with quicker shipping and production. That is promising because Mythic Legion, known for quality, their figures feel fantastic. So that's exciting on a lot of levels. Dan says I'm going to have to switch between alter egos to Superman. Keep up investigative journalism. I might have to like put on my Mython glasses when I ask him questions. I don't know.
There you go.
We'll see what happens. I don't want to scare him with, too many personalities. Scott says the only thing I don't like about Monster Force was the large amount of reuse in the first wave. Their first wave, I kind of wanted to be dazzled, but yeah, game-changing figures. Yes. Yeah, they did have a lot of reissues on the stuff. That doesn't bother me, especially when we're talking about military figures, because they're going to have roughly the same kind of uniforms. That doesn't bother me as much. And it looks like moving forward, they're still going to use a lot of those parts, but they're just kind of slowly mixing stuff in. I'm also kind of hoping that the partnership with Gridiron kind of expands on loadouts and stuff, which to me is more important than the base body. Really, as long as you're changing like knee pads, boots, sleeve length, everything else is going to be in loadouts, and I think you can be very creative with loadouts. So I'm hoping. Yeah, Delta Red, baby.
Hell yeah, man.
And Joe's, my main complaint was the pegging system. I thought it could have been better implemented. I agree with that. I think it was a lot to do with the peg shape. The posts were mushroom shaped, but there's not enough back behind the, say you got the thigh holster. The thigh holster is right up next to the thigh, so that mushroom cap doesn't have a way to expand behind it. It's a first wave. Obviously, lots that they can learn. And I watched an interview. Who had that interview?
I will say about that.
Unparalleled Universe had an interview with him at San Diego Comic-Con, and he was pointing out on the Blank Man how he's freaking jacked in that cabinet. And they were like, well, he's like, well, he shouldn't be like huge. He's a super normal looking guy. And Bill was like, well, that's the kind of criticism we kind of want at Comic-Con. Like, that's our opportunity to be right there with the customer. You're face to face, and you make the comment. You don't have to worry about it being a big deal. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. And I will say though, on some of that, we're talking about changing factories and timelines and stuff. I know in my experience, just in the few projects that I have worked on that had started out as Kickstarters, sometimes that design intent gets lost at the factory. Everything looks great until you start getting production pieces. And by then you're already rolling and you're just like, whoa, that should have been this. But so you've already waited 3 years, 4 years to have production pieces in hand. And you have to make a call. Like, do I spend another 6 months screwing with this, or do we just go with it so that people get the product that they feel like they paid for, that they have invested in? And sometimes that is a hard choice to make, but for me, it's been difficult several times to get product, be excited, like, oh my God, these are production pre-samples, and then you get them and there are like 3 or 4 things about them that you're just like, why did this happen?
Yeah.
Some of those things you can live with, but sometimes you got to make that call and say, and I guess it's just going to take another year. And you hope that the customers understand. It is so difficult to make those decisions and make those calls that close to production, especially on a project that's been waiting. But there are several factories out there that are doing amazing work, turning stuff around in less than 6 months. This is and as those factories get discovered and used, I think we're going to see a whole lot of this 4 years to production thing disappear. Either you figure out a way to get it done in 6 months like these other people are doing, or nobody's going to call you. It's that simple. Just like, it's unfortunate that it's taken 4 years for these people to pop up that say like, oh yeah, we could do that in 6 months with this excellent communication and full transparency on what we're doing at the factory. You get these guys, and people always say like, well, that's just how China is, and that is how China is pre-COVID. But these new people that are coming out of the woodwork, these guys that are turning stuff around quickly with high quality, just like Delta 17 stuff. I mean, they did have their models done when they showed those, so they had a lot of the R&D work already finished out, as opposed to starting with a company that was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Right. What do you mean O-ring? That's tough. But when you have everything already worked out and you hand it off to the factory and you got somebody that says like, oh, if you've got most of the modeling done, we're just going to do a little engineering work on it. We should be able to have these in your hands in 6 months. Sure. And when you get somebody come up to you and say something like that, and you get like weekly, daily communications from them, like it never takes more than 2 days. The Delta 17's factory is really, really good at that. So that's the kind of stuff that, as a maker, as somebody that wants to build things and wants to have toys that come from a factory, that's huge. That's a huge thing. I don't think people, especially anybody that's ever been in an American corporate environment, you come up against these people that take 2-3 weeks to answer a simple question, or to not ever answer the question, come up with something else. Hey, we got this. Check this out. Well, that's cool, but what about this? Mm-hmm. So that I think that they're post-COVID, they're learning how to get along with that and how to figure out. Some of them have done an excellent job of bouncing back from that with a new attitude towards manufacturing things for the United States.
Sure.
And that's great. I'm all for that. I'm all for that on any kind of production, not just toys. That means that, unfortunately, that probably means that you're going to have to be switching iPhones a lot faster than you used to, because they'll be able to pump them out, new one every year or whatever. But it's it's true with the electronics. It's true with everything else. When you see these electronics companies coming out with stuff every 4 or 5 months with new casings and everything with all new tooling, you're like, how come they can do that and I can't?
Yeah.
And it's even true with tools. You go to Harbor Freight and I was with somebody the other day. We were going out to eat, and we saw a Snap-on truck, and it triggered a conversation about that it was surprising to see a Snap-on truck because very few people get into a business anymore, go to work somewhere, and think of it as a career for life. Where it was very, very possible 30 years ago that you were going to go work as a mechanic, apprenticeship type thing, and you were willing to drop some bucks on high quality tools because you knew that's what you were going to be doing until you retired.
Buy once, cry once.
Yeah, but now these guys are like, I'll just go to Harbor Freight, drop 150 bucks, and if it breaks, I'll go get it if I'm even going to be here that long.
Mm-hmm.
In 2 months, I might be doing construction work or putting roofs on. I mean,
yeah.
It's a different world, and it's a different workforce. So everything's got to move with that, and it will eventually, become a societal thing where either we do it that way or we don't.
True.
That's why I did videos today, because I didn't want to hold up an index card and try to match the camera focus, because I'm terrible at that.
Smart. It's good. It was a good move. Yeah, Scott, their NPC stuff. I'm excited to talk about that too, because that seems like
those are hot.
Unlimited potential in that. Yeah, pretty much, Menjoza. Yeah. I don't want to put him back into hiding. He used to be really reclusive. If he's opening up a little bit, I want to, I want to bring it on softly. I'm not going to use the Batman voice because that's for intimidation. I'm not trying to intimidate, or reading comic books in the dark, whatever. Nerf Herder, greetings. He's over there in the wasteland with Zach, I guess. Scott says, big fan of the Rocketeer and Sky Captain. Can't wait for that stuff. Yes, I am super excited about that. And I'm hoping, if you guys go to their website, the Fresh Monkey Fiction website, and look at their former lines of long box heroes, which the Rocketeer and the Sky Captain and Grendel, that's all part of long box Prestige. So that's the new full articulation, go with Monster Force, that kind of stuff. If you look at their other stuff, it moves like, Kenner or Toy Biz in the 90s. Like, they have knees, but probably not elbows. Real basic. So they've canceled that whole line because it wouldn't be much cheaper than a fully articulated figure at the end of the day. So they've canceled that. They're moving to bigger ones. So I'm thinking if we use the plans and what they've done with long box heroes, I think we kind of get a glimpse into what they want to do with their Prestige line. And if that is true, then the Rocketeer stuff is going to be bad ass.
I'm hoping for an Alan Quartermain at some point.
Oh my god, I would love that. I would love that. I would love the whole League of Extraordinary.
Oh yeah, League style, yeah.
I would love a fucking Nemo in the Hindu style. That would be bitchin'. I'd love that version of Tom Sawyer. That would fit right in with that stuff, with the Sky Captain stuff or the Rocketeer. Special Agent Tom Sawyer. Fuck yeah, dude. I'm in. So, yes, Menjoza, I fully intend on it. He said in that interview that some of the stuff in that display was a hint at who is next. I think I figured out who's next, and I'm pretty sure it's Harold Houdini. I'm pretty sure is the next one there, but I don't know. We're gonna find out Thursday. But even that bench could be very deep if you're using, people from that time. You could do a Nikola Tesla. You could do Rasputin would be a really creepy one. There's all kinds of stuff you could do with the dark stuff for that Raven Society. I don't know what their plans are, but I want to talk about it.
Yeah, it's exciting, and then it's just cool to get that access for us to watch, see what you come up with to ask him and
Yeah.
see what kind of cool things he comes back with. I'm real excited about it. I think it's a pretty cool deal for you.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm pumped up. I'm pumped up. Scott says, "Yep, that's how I am. If it's something I'm going to be using nonstop for my business, I get quality equipment." Yep, that makes sense. That makes sense. I mean, we always used it. When we were working on cars in the day, we go to Harbor Freight, and then if it was something we're like, "Oh no, we use that a lot," then we could get a nice one. But
Go
just
look at it
trial and error
sometime.
was $10-20. That was easy. That was safe. Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Don't leave your life in the hands of Harbor Freight. Your business is that's different. Your life is another. Yeah, Nemo would kick ass.
Do you have anything after Thursday? What do you got going on after Figure It Out Thursday night at 9 Central?
No.
Vacation.
That's definitely not vacation. It's just back to the normal stuff. Yeah, that's what I've got. I think it's just those two things next week.
Cool.
So Lily sounds like she's having a time.
Probably Amazon's here.
Oh yeah, now I hear all of them.
Yeah, they're the three musketeers, all for one for all.
Yeah, somebody's definitely delivering something to the back or the front porch for sure.
About got everybody trained to deliver to the back porch now. So.
Heading to Nashville, huh? So anyway, yeah, that's everything I've got. Any closing thoughts, Pop? When you think the kits are going to be heading out to people?
I think Wednesday. I had to get some boxes. One more time, I popped this list up there for anybody that came in late. I didn't see these are the people plus one. Well, it's on here. It's counted. It's just not. I didn't have the address, so we have that now. So that's what's going out.
Nice.
And again, one more time, 20 kits are going to be $85 plus shipping. The shipping's going to be $5 in the U.S. and then looks like I got a couple of people that will need a little more help than $5, but that's okay.
Oh yeah, you and Scott going to Longhorn tonight, huh?
Oh, okay.
I don't know if he's coming to you or you're supposed to go to him. I don't know. You guys will have to work that out backstage.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where the closest Longhorn is up here.
Yeah, I don't know. Figure that one out. So that's all we got for you to this episode. I appreciate all of you guys watching, commenting. Love the questions. I hope everybody's excited as we are about the Spaceman kit because we are pumped up about it. Really excited for future stuff. I don't know. I'd be looking for some art from John in the future. I want to see what he's got in his mind for future stuff. So.
Yeah, there's gonna be some stuff like that coming. I am gonna do some quality images of this kit to put on social media.
Nice.
Probably need to paint something up, a little diorama action.
There you go. Yeah, and then after I finish Lincoln Osiris on JMK Custom Works Live on Wednesdays, I'm going to start on one of these kits. Jacob, it'll probably be yours. I'll probably be messing with yours. So that's what we've got going on. Again, guys, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you. Be sure Replay Squad. Like,
Yeah.
comment, and sub if you're not subbed. I appreciate you. Until we see you again, you have a good one, all right?
Game over, man. It's game over.
Eat my short.
Go fuck yourself.
You shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
Flush that turd down the drain. Avenge me! Avenge me!
Thank you. Thank you.